Hey guys, welcome back to what's part 2 of the beginner's guide.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between. Just so you're aware, nothing will happen up here until you've been inside the house.
Okay. There's no lever or anything up there. Somebody sitting at the dinner table. It's a quaint little house. You could easily get sniped through one of these windows. They just spilled their drink. Clean. Oh my goodness, I'm glad as heck that you showed up. I might have been playing this entire house by myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes. Don't worry about me, a place is nice, I got to stay here all night.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Lousy home makes home loners. Ha ha. Ha! Hotels are making me fun to do this job with. But this place ain't going to find stuff. Sure, it's time for me. Please clear the table. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Would you please run the bedroom and make the bed? My whole life. Never did like playing my own home. I've gotten some demons. I ain't ready to face yet. Speaking of demons, some of this couch and all a mess. Straighten these pillows here. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over the couch. I feel compelled to share in a prayer of the trees in your personal one, so are you okay with that? Yeah, make it especially cheesy. No, it was stupid. Sorry, never mind. I'm just gonna do that. These dishes need to be washed. So check the tub needs a cleaning. How about you scrub it down the best you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Are all houses this easy to clean? A lot of houses, and among all those, a few of them will stick out as truly wonderful, beautiful experiences. One of them will be the ones that were easy. Just something you think about while you smooth out the rug in the bedroom.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Is a lot like one soul. Take care of it, take care of you. I don't know why I felt so weird saying that. I get it. It's a weird thing to say to someone you you just met. Yeah, you're right, that's pretty cheesy. Bit of truth in it now. Dude, there's a bit of truth in it. Dot. Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Folks who admire the books. So it shows kind of him getting into
I'm glad he
routine.
made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
It shows somebody getting into a routine.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
It's interesting. I've met people. I've known people who seem to be in a bad place, and sometimes they seem overly happy for a short amount of time.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit
Stuff
goofy.
at members only prices. Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. Came here to be perfect. This workshop's going to teach you how to be perfect. It just moved me. Perhaps people would like to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? A lot of people. You're so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. To make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. One of the first people to watch this is someone I compare myself to that all the time. And he knows who he is.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
So easy. Being perfect is effortless.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
How do I even know that on the way to work I told an outward person to start contributing to society? Could just not call it. Never told. I'll tell you right now, that's not the right answer. I still love you, it's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. If you are torturing yourself, trying to find the right solution for your life, you're not doing it right. Do you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. There's only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? You and developing assist. Gross. Haha, just kidding. Anyone want to do some ecstasy after this? There is no truth. There is no path. But if I'm not a good teacher, do what is easiest, do what is simplest, feel what is true. Holy shit, you guys. Somebody's coming out of the back of the room. Look out. Nothing, no one. It's coming for you. It's going to destroy you.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Stage. An actual stage. Gives me Max Payne flashbacks. Jesus, that was loud. Alright, the performance of getting places, please. Playing as me. This scene with playing as me, we are a gathering of professionals. First we'll start off by leaning against this wall. Good, stay right there. When across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. We're slow. Well, that's it. That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her, be a human being. Do it again. I'm super scared right now. I like you. Here are all of my hopes and dreams. Let's do number 3. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing one tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason it was just that one moment, but it was confident. You would see we need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this for a second to talk about this. So what I'm getting is that after all of these like lonely, depressing games, he found someone he loved deeply, and like it's interesting to see each game go through his psyche on what he was doing, and clearly this is like he's going through like a breakup phase right now. Like whatever the 4 months were between the last game and this game, the last game clearly, just judging by some of the answers, was that he was trying to win her back. And this one, maybe he's lost all self-confidence again. Just a theory. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. I'll bet you learned to lean into the pain. What are some sacrifices you had to make? Missing out on going to freak out at the comments, get just the person that quickly. It's supposed to for me. I'll never get an opportunity because everything was riding on this. Maybe this was his opportunity to make it up with her. That might be what it is. Yes, now this is working.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with his person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Mobius Strip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. I'm keeping my eyes open. This be forever. Do something. Can you fix this?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
The only way to stop this is to speak something that is honest. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. I'm out of ideas.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Thought it was going to be easy. You're doing it. It's working. I'm alone. I'm stuck in it. We're going to be okay.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Where am I? Where's sound come from? Hello, is anyone there? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anybody. What's wrong? You look lost. The about it is when I try to create, I feel empty. Oh no. What happened? Did something change? There's a machine that kept me going, and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me, to start it up again. Just the second one. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. What? You have to take me to it. I need to see it. I need to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Take care of this problem is guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. 1 deal, 2 deal, it doesn't matter what I say, does it? We're going to end right up there one way or another, right? Oh, and you hit 3, it says deal anyways. Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you. I wonder what happened if I selected one of the first 2 deals.
From my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
What do you think? Hey, I recognize this. I've solved this puzzle before. This is easy. You have to close the door. First you have to open the door. First you press the switch on the inside. First you open the door. Now you have to close the first door. Is that going to be a switch? Nope.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Try to feel empty. Trying to find this engine that used to protect me, to start again. I can't believe I've solved this before. Okay, here we are. These are just some words on some walls. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous, and you live 100% of the time. And making games is simple, sure, making games is alright. Simple. That feels wonderful. Where the walls just crumble. But I feel awful when I said that. Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized. I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic. It never stops being easy. So it's wonderful, keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness. That's the switch. I get it. That's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. Hey, it's me, I'm you, from after you escaped the prison. You have to open the door. Yes, there was floating colored blocks. These are just words on some walls. Don't worry about me. A place that's nice. I'll be glad to stay here all night. No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzle. Close the first door. Every time I make... These are the actual answers now. Every time I feel something about, I feel better about myself. Just never stop creating and never feel bad. It's such a simple solution. Never stop creating, you'll never feel bad. Perfect.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
I'm not going to read the ones on the walls. If you want, you can just look at them. None of this is helping. I'm going to all. Please, where's this machine? None of this is helping. Patience, you have to trust me. I promise this will work. Please continue. Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifices made for my work are worth 100% of the time. His work sucked. Lost him in his relationship.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
There's no shame, no fear, no guilt. I will be saved by work. I believe this unquestionably. I am a vessel for certainty. Incredible. That's it. Free.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
So there's one more after this one. The Machine. Or is this the last one, maybe? Black space. And a guard. Ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely. We captured the Machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we would have to a bit of attention on this one. There's one thing you should know about the Machine. It calls itself Coda. Do with it. Give us answers. It's done. Business games have come from.
And of course, it's the Machine.
You stopped. You stopped Phoenix. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. Your work was keeping us healthy. Possibly go back to trust me. Come through. Been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. I've seen the thing you fear. Alright then, I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. My followers, my friends. It falls on me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. The Machine will not apologize. The Machine fears that it deliberately hurt us. We are stronger than I think we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay retribution. Let us show we are not failures. Follow me. We will destroy Machine. Follow me. We will destroy everything the Machine has created. Oh, this is an important decision. I have a strange feeling. This desolate city. Yeah, I thought so.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Just turn everything that goes into a white void. You're basically deleting his work.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
There's the lamppost. Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
I hope you didn't plagiarize his games.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look. And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
This is gonna close on me.
This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
It's the old source blocks. I haven't seen these things in a while, since I used to play Source. Counter-Strike Source.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
What happens if you navigate the invisible maze?
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
There we go. Okay.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
It's fascinating.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
See, he got it. I didn't notice it in the last couple of games, but it's good to see that I pointed out. I wonder how many people just didn't notice them at all and are questioning what the hell the 3 dots mean. It's interesting. This is such a fascinating game. I love that it talks about, like, oh my god, I'm not going to be okay with the ending of this game.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up?
Just my games. I need to ask you not to speak.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes, giving them something that is not yours to give, violating one's boundary that keeps me safe? Would you stop changing my games and stop adding lampposts to them? Huh.
And then you stopped,
what they are?
And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all.
So you plagiarized his
Nothing.
game.
Less than nothing. What does that mean?
When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet, which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I am talking about, don't say anything. There's no exit.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Epilogue. Train station. Bit of a couple visual skips there.
more love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution.
Okay, I don't want to stop right now, but I am very convinced that I'm going to run out of hard drive space. So I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to check to see how much I have left. And then if I have like a lot left, we're good to go. If I don't have a lot left, I'm going to have to like pause for like an hour to like render the first parts, so I don't have friggin' 300 gigs worth of the beginner's guide recorded on my hard drive. Sorry about that. This isn't the end. It will continue right after this. Alright guys, we're back now. That actually, I'm recording this at night now. I ended up getting called into work, so, but I got my episode up today, so that's what matters.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Levels are really
Even
elaborate now.
The disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Is it a mirror? No. If that was it, then I definitely had space for it. This game is like a
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
It's got a particular glow to it.
What now?
It's interesting how, after the start of the story, they turned it into one of
I think I need to go.
self-loathing and projection.
And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Large empty structures like this. make note that all the rocks are missing pieces out of them. There's just a hole where something should be. And I was cut out the second I walked out of there. Oh, I'm back on the terminal. There's that electrical field. Is it gonna make me float up, or is it just gonna kill me? I really, really wonder. Alright. Yep, it's gonna make me float. Of course. There are no right answers.
Turn back. Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going.
Jesus was a thing for the
Cave
project.
goes for miles and miles and miles, and you are so tired, but I know that you're strong, so turn back, turn back.
This is a very interesting game about validation and self-protection. That's these are like the old Source Engine style. Okay. it's interesting to see a game that subverts your expectations in a way like this. I love how they guided you in a direction and then told you the end of it about someone who read too much into it to validate himself and his actions, and even went to as far as to slightly plagiarize someone else's work to seek validation from other people. It's very to add lampposts to all my levels. I think that's one of the more interesting ones. There's so much psychology I could dive into on this, but all I can say is that I really enjoyed this game. This game was atmospherically beautiful, the story was well told, the narrator was interesting to listen to and hear his entire story. I don't think I would ask anything about this game to be changed. To make it a perfect game, in its genre, I think it's very good. It's definitely not for everybody. I can see why there are people who wouldn't like it. Thank you guys for watching. This was a nice little two-part thing of a game I really wanted to play and listen to. And see you guys in the next Let's Play.